Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to today's maths lesson. So our learning objective for today is to multiply a 3-digit by a 1-digit number. And our steps to success are, I can place the multiplication sum in the correct columns. I can multiply the numbers starting in the ones column. I can use mental methods or known facts. And I can add my numbers to find the answer. And the vocabulary that we'll need today is thousands, multiply, partition, hundreds, tens, and ones. So let's do our starter to begin with. Give yourself 5 minutes to pause the video and have a go. Okay, well done. And this is the answers. Okay, so our big question today is, we have been working on multiplying a 2-digit by a 1-digit number. So for example, 23 times 4. So can you explain how you think you would multiply a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number? So if you're at school, you can speak to a partner, or if you're at home, you can either speak to somebody or have a thought to yourself of how you would multiply a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number, and then have a go at the sum at the same time. Okay, so multiplying a 3-digit number is exactly the same as a 2-digit number. There's just an extra column to multiply. So yesterday and the day before, we looked at 2 different ways of multiplying 2-digit numbers. So one was to partition all the numbers and then add them together, and the other one was regrouping. So we're going to look at the kind of partitioning one today and the regrouping one tomorrow. So let's look at how we'll set it out today. So the first thing you would do is your hundreds, tens, and ones column. Then add in your 143, and then multiplying it by 3, and then your multiplication sum on the left-hand side, and then nice, neat ruled lines underneath. Okay, so like with a 2-digit number, we start with the ones column. So we have 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. And then we move to the tens column, so we've got 40 multiplied by 3. So again, we can use our known facts. So we know that 4 times 3 equals 12. So 40 times 3 equals 120. So like we did with the first lesson in partitioning or multiplying 2-digit numbers, we kind of are partitioning this, we're separating the numbers. So 120 will go underneath. And then the last column is the hundreds. So 3 times 100. And we should know this from when we multiplied by 100 in previous lessons this year, that would be 300. So we would add that to the last row. And then, like we did with 2-digit numbers, we would add all of this up together. So 300 plus 120 plus 9. So this I would do mentally in my head, but if you need to do column addition to add that up, it's fine. So your answer was 429. So I'm sure that there are some of you that would automatically just like to do this with regrouping straight away. That's fine. You're welcome to do that, but we're just going to take it nice and easy today, just so we understand exactly what's going on by doing it this way. Okay, so let's try another sum by multiplying it the same way we've just done in the previous slide. So pause the video and have a go at this one. Okay, so first thing I would have done was to place my numbers in the correct column. 534 multiplied by 8. Okay, so start with the ones column, and 8 times 4 is 32. Okay, then we move to the tens. So we've got 30 times 8, but we can use our known fact of 3 times 8 to help us. So 3 times 8 is 24. So 30 times 8 will be 240. So we would place that underneath, 240. Okay. Okay, and then the last column is the hundreds column. So we've got 8 times 500. So we can use our known fact of 8 times 5 to help us. So 8 times 5 is 40. So therefore, 8 times 500 will be 4,000. So this is where we now have to add a new column, our thousands column. So we could add that up there. And then 4,000 will go in the last row. Okay, and then we add that all up together. So 4,000 plus 240 plus 32. And again, this is something that you could do mentally. So it'll be 4,272 is your answer. So we can add that back into the original sum. 4,272. Okay, perfect. Right, let's have a go at one more before we get to our activities. Okay, well done. So we've placed the numbers in the correct column. And then we start with our ones column. So 3 times 6 is 18. This is why it's really important to know your timetables, because these kind of quick timetables questions like 3 times 6 will make it much easier for you to answer this entire sum quicker if you know those answers. And then we've got 6 times 0. So we know that anything times 0 is nothing, because there's nothing to multiply in the tens column. So we could just leave that out, or you could just place in 0 if you wanted to, or just leave it blank. And then the last column is 6 times 400. So again, we could use our known fact of 6 times 4 to help us. So 6 times 4 is 24. Therefore, 6 times 400 will be 2,400. So we can add that into a thousands column. So 2,400. And then we could add our thousands column up here. And then we add all of that up, and this one can also be done mentally. We can see that it's just 2,418 is the answer. 2,418. Okay, great. So your activities today are bronze, silver, and gold. If you're going to do the bronze challenge, you are still going to be multiplying 2-digit numbers. So if any of the children who went in this hand for maths, you can focus on the bronze challenge. Unless you'd like to do the silver or gold, that's absolutely fine. So everybody else that stayed in the class with Mrs. Staple or Miss Jackson could do the silver or gold challenges. So the bronze is the multiplying of 2-digit numbers by 1 digit. The silver is just straightforward practice of 3-digit times by 1 digit. And then the gold is exactly the same questions, but you also have an extra challenge of word problems that you can solve as well. And then after that, you've got the answers. There's the answers to the bronze, answers to the silver, and answers to the gold. Okay, so you're going to have to go back into the video now and find the challenge that you'd like to do, pause it, and have a go at your work. And please remember to keep sending us your maths. Just take a picture of your work and send it to the Year 4 email address. So have fun and enjoy.